I just wanted to take a couple minutes on the front side of this video to explain what you're seeing with the music, me sitting on the couch playing the guitar, and why all of a sudden those videos are coming up in your feed. Way before I began speaking about anything regarding current events or politics, the only reason I was even on YouTube or had a YouTube channel was to put out songs that I was learning for myself. Once you learn a song, a cover song, you can write down all you want, the chord progressions and the melody and everything, but after a while it just fades. So I thought, why don't I record myself playing it, and I can see what I'm doing and I can hear what I did to make it sound good acoustically, and if I put it on YouTube, I won't have any worry of, losing a hard drive or forgetting where I wrote down all the notes and all that kind of stuff. So that's all I ever did. Now, YouTube is changing their creator studio. That's where people like me who make videos, we can go into a certain section and we can edit those videos and look at analytics. Well, they're changing to a new type of studio. It's called Studio Beta. And it makes it very, very difficult to go and look at very old posts. That music that you're seeing was already on YouTube. I just deleted it and reposted the exact same video. The reason that you don't see it now is because of the way the algorithms work. You would have to literally go into my channel and then go find the playlists and then scroll down through the playlists. It'll never show up in your feed as a recommended video. Many of them only had maybe a few dozen views. So I was reposting them, the original intent being putting them toward the front so that I could get to them easier. And I just left them public because people enjoyed them. Now, that all having been said, I don't play in front of people. In fact, the videos that you're seeing took 8, 9, 10, or 12 takes sometimes, even knowing that there was a camera recording. I have stage anxiety. Bad stage anxiety. You're never going to see me play in front of people, ever. I can't do it. I learned this young, the hard way, that I get in front of people, I don't know what it is, hands freeze, forget lyrics, and when you're playing a song, you get in through verse 1 or chorus and then you freeze. It's almost worse than if you never got up on stage. So that's never going to happen. So once we're done with these videos, and there's maybe a dozen more or so, that's going to be it. We're not changing over to a music channel, I guess is the point there. So thank you for indulging for 3 minutes to explain that. Probably by the end of this year, at least probably by fall, they'll all have been reposted and somewhere where I can get to them easily. So anyway, moving on. This woman is crazy like a fox. She's sharp. She's very sharp. Now, I know many are like, I'm never going to be for reparations ever. Never going to happen. No way. Now, once you think about it critically for a minute, the proposal is $100 billion going to about 50 million Americans. Well, that's basically money out of D.C. that when it goes to those Americans, the first thing they're going to do is spend it. It comes out to about $2,000 for every African American living in North America. So it's not like it's this huge chunk of change. And when you talk about how much money we give to foreign countries, we give $5 billion a year to Africa. We give $1 billion every 2 years to Colombia. We give $3 billion a year to Israel. What if that money stayed here? Now, in another vein, a little anecdote real quick. When my parents, my father specifically, was growing up in the 60s, they were beginning to teach this whole idea of evolution. And that's where the term, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle comes from. And he taught his kids, and we were brought up Christian, Pentecostal Christians, that you're only being tested on what the book says, not whether what the book says is true or not, just on what the book says. If they gave you a test on a fictional story, do your best to relate what the fictional story is. So, my question is, if the concept is 40 acres and a mule, why does that not take into consideration the desires of the mule? Seriously, isn't that a form of slavery? Are we going to go and ask every mule whether they want to be part of a reparations package or not? We should, shouldn't we? Animals have rights. It seems like that would be abuse to just assume every mule would want to be part of that. And if it's 40 acres and a mule, I suppose if that 40 acres was taken wrongly or never transferred as per some agreement after the Civil War, wait until that first property tax bill comes. And if it's a gift, wait until you pay gift taxes. Or if they're going to classify it as some kind of an inheritance, wait until you get your inheritance tax bill. Not sounding like such a great deal now, is it? Any proposal, from my perspective, and I guess this might be the thesis, I don't care where it's going. If it's money out of D.C. and it ends up in the hands of any American, for any reason, that's a good thing. Any proposal that takes money out of the bank accounts controlled by D.C. and puts it in the hands of people, I don't care whether they're purple, green, yellow, black, white, tan, and we could talk about the original reparations that should be going to the Native Americans. Seriously, I don't even know how any African American within the sound of my voice can really make the allegation, yes, your ancestors were brought here against their will, but they were working land that was stolen from the Native Americans. And there were lots of them, from Maine to Arizona, from Washington State to the tip of Florida. It's all stolen property. And we know how stolen property works, doesn't matter. If I stole it from this person over here and then made it mine, and then you think you're entitled to it because I then did this, that, or the other it's still stolen property. And the original reparations need to go to the Native Americans. I hate to say it. Like I said, any money out of D.C. and into the hands of any Americans stimulates the economy. It's just basic economics 101. I'm for anything that robs D.C. of cash. Anything at all. And there is this concept, too, that everyone, everywhere, is the descendant of an African woman named Mitochondrial Eve. In that case, I guess we all get a check, don't we? Well, we're all African, right? Everybody's from Africa. And everybody's from chimpanzees and monkeys and, all that other wonderful things brought to you by science. I guess we all get a check. We could all make that claim, couldn't we? If we're just going to hand it over to Pakistan, $933 million a year, ad on infinitum. Tanzania, $588 million. Mozambique, $406 million. Nigeria, $703 million. This big blue one right here, $3.1 billion. Colombia, $325 million, and that's low. It's closer to $500. Make-believe science. You've just got to wonder sometimes. You really just have to stare up at the night sky and wonder about how they come up with crap. And when you take their nonsense and you put it together with DC's nonsense, sometimes, they cross. So since we're all descended out of Africa, we all get a check. And We need to start asking mules, where they stand on this, because clearly we violated their rights too. And what do we owe the mule? What do we owe the mule for having assumed that it wanted to help us plant crops, that it wanted to help us do work around the farm? Something to look up at the night sky and ponder. And I guess we'll just leave that there. Like, share, subscribe.